Children, today we are going to discuss about the heat part 4. Under heat part 4 we have to discuss the applications of specific heat. Let us define specific heat. The amount of heat required to rise the temperature of unit mass of the substance by 1 unit. Unit mass of the substance by 1 degree centigrade, that is specific heat. When you are studying the applications of specific heat, already I told in the last video, 2 points are very necessary to remember. The first point, low specific heat. The substances which are having low specific heat gains heat quickly and releases heat quickly or loses very quickly. The substances which are having high specific heat, they will gain the energy and lose the energy very slowly. You have to remember this one. High specific heat means they will absorb or release heat quickly. High specific heat means they absorb and loses heat energy slowly. They absorb slowly and they will lose the heat also slowly. First just remember that one. That means in the low specific heat substances, the temperature rise is very quick because it absorbs very quickly. It absorbs heat very quickly, the temperature rise will be more. Whereas in the substances which are having high specific heat, the temperature rise will be very slow. Okay, let us see here. We are seeing so many substances with different specific heat values. Already in the last video we discussed about this one. By giving the specific heat values, in which substance the temperature rise will be more, in which substance the temperature rise will be less. Likewise, they will ask you, because the temperature rise is more means low specific heat, the temperature rise is less means high specific heat. Likewise, you have to answer the questions what they had given. Now let us see some applications. Here you can see a cooking pot. That means the base of the cooking pot is the copper base and the body is with aluminum handle with high specific heat material. In the examination, they will ask you what type of material we have to prefer for the designing of the base of a cooking pot, because the temperature rise must be fast. So that we have to choose the substances which is having low specific heat. Low specific heat. And the body also low specific heat, because the temperature rise must be very quick. That's what we have to take the low specific heat substances, and the handle with high specific heat. That means if they ask you lid also high specific heat. So the base or body, we have to choose the substances which are having low specific heat, and the handle or lid, we have to choose the high specific heat substances. Okay, now let us see another example. A samosa. This boy is eating a samosa, no? While we are eating the samosa is cool outside, but it is hot inside when we are eating the curry inside the samosa. Why they will ask you like that? Because the outer part of the samosa will have low specific heat. What is the nature of the substances having low specific heat? They will absorb heat quickly and they will lose heat quickly. So they will lose heat quickly. But the inner part of the samosa curry, that is curry, it will have high specific heat. So they will absorb heat slowly and releases heat slowly. So because of the differences in the specific heat, that will be like that. That means the outer part of the samosa is having low specific heat, and the curry inside the samosa will have high specific heat. Likewise, you have to answer the questions. And another example we can see here, a watermelon is there. On a hot summer day, even we remove that watermelon from the fridge, it is so cool after a long time. Why? They will ask you like that. Most of the watermelon contains water only. It contains large amount of water. The specific heat of water is high. So the temperature rise will be less, and also for the substances which are having high specific heats, they absorbs heat slowly and releases heat slowly. So they absorb heat very slowly because the specific heat of water is high and it contains a large amount of water. Okay, next we shall see another example. The cooling system of a car engine. We are using water as a coolant. Why? Because here also the same answer. Because water has high specific heat and low cost, it is used as a coolant. Because of the high specific heat, the temperature rise will be very less, even absorbing large amount of heat also. Okay, due to the water has high specific heat, a lot of applications are there. And here you can see a grass house. Okay, they will ask you, why in summer the grass houses are so cool when compared to the concrete buildings? Because the grass is having high specific heat, it absorbs heat slowly and releases also it slowly. So it absorbs slowly, So in the summer time, the grass houses, the huts will be cool when compared to the concrete buildings. The grass is having high specific heat. That is the important point you have to write. Now we shall see concrete buildings. In summer, why the concrete buildings are having we feel so hot in concrete buildings when compared to the huts? Then you have to write, the materials used to construct the concrete buildings are having low specific heat. They absorb heat very quickly. So we shall feel hot in concrete buildings when compared to the huts. The concrete buildings are hot because the materials have low specific heat. The materials which are used to construct the concrete buildings are having low specific heat. You have to remember that one, low specific heat. And again you can see here, what you can see here, some cool air is coming to the land, sea breeze. Already I told, no specific heat of water is high, so that a lot of applications are there based on that property of water. Here in summer, if you sit near a river or a sea or in a canal, you can feel cool. Why? Because the land, that is the land is having low specific heat, and the water in the sea is having high specific heat. So in summer, the land absorbs, because it is having low specific heat, it absorbs very quickly, but the water in the sea absorbs heat very slowly, so they are not hot when compared with the land. So a cool air will come to the land. So the air around the land, above the land, is hot when compared to the sea. So the cool air, we can feel the sea breeze. Okay. And afterwards we shall see another example. Here, land breeze. In the night times, when we sit near the oceans, because in the summertime, the land, in the daytime, in summer, the land will take heat, more heat. That means because the specific heat of land is less, no, it absorbs heat quickly and releases heat quickly. That means it absorbs, and in the evening, at about evening times, it will release slowly, it will release the heat. But whereas in the case of water present in the sea, it absorbs heat very slowly. Up to evening, it won't become hot. Then it starts to release the heat slowly. Then we shall feel the air above the land is cool when compared to the air above the sea. So the cool air will pass from land to sea, that is the land breeze. In the examination, why I am telling too many examples that are not also in the textbook, because under applications they will ask you so many applications what you are seeing in your day-to-day life. Likewise they will ask you, therefore I am giving so many examples. Under applications AS6 they will ask you applications. And now we can see here an important question: how do you appreciate the higher role of specific heat of water in stabilizing the atmosphere? Here oceans are treated as heat stores, because a lot of water will be there in the oceans. High specific heat of water, they absorb large amount of heat at the equator. They absorb large amount of heat at the equator without appreciable rise in temperature. Why? Because water is having high specific heat, even though they absorb more energy, the temperature rise will be less. So due to the high specific heat of water, they absorb large amount of heat at the equator without appreciable rise in temperature. So oceans moderate the surrounding temperature near the equator. So oceans moderate the surrounding temperature near the equator. So because it will absorb heat, no more amount of heat. Okay, afterwards, okay, it will stabilize the atmosphere near the equator. Afterwards, the ocean water transports the heat away from the equator to the north and south poles. Likewise, it will stabilize the atmosphere. Okay, in the examination already we learnt so many applications of specific heat, a cooking pot and a samosa and watermelon, cooling system of a car engine, why water is used as a coolant, and also grass houses, concrete buildings, and sea breeze, land breeze, and stabilizing the atmosphere. The oceans, how they are stabilizing the atmosphere. Likewise, we learned so many applications. In the examination, they will ask you, samosa appears to be cool outside, but it is hot when we eat it. Why? Watermelon brought out from the refrigerator retains its coolness for a longer time than any other fruit. Why? Why copper is used for the bottom coating of cooking vessels? How do you appreciate the role of higher specific heat of water in stabilizing atmosphere? Like that, they will ask so many questions, so many applications. In this chapter, we shall get 4 types of questions: how do you appreciate, and applications, definitions and units, and the problems. Now we are seeing how do you appreciate and the applications. Type 1 and type 2 we are discussing about these 2 types in this video. Okay, that means applications of specific heat, watermelon, water as a coolant, samosa, ocean stabilizing atmosphere. Whatever they give, any application, you have to read 20 applications, 40 applications, 60 applications. We can't read, no? But for every application, we have to prepare a single answer. With a little bit of modification, we can write the answer. For that, I am giving the answer. This will be valid for every question, and a little bit of modification, you have to write the answer. For every application, you can write this one. Principle. If the specific heat of the substance is low, it absorbs heat quickly and loses heat quickly. If the specific heat of a substance is high, it absorbs heat slowly and loses heat slowly. These two, you have to remember these 2 points. Just we can write. And you can see these type of questions, no? If they asked you, how do you appreciate? If they ask you like that, so you have to write principle 1, 2, like that, everything you have to write. Afterwards, in the conclusion part, you have to write, so I appreciate the role of higher specific heat of water, like that. Okay, let us practice how to write. Why copper metal is preferred for making cooking utensils? This is the question what they had given. Then you have to write principle. If the specific heat of a substance is high, it absorbs heat quickly. If the specific heat of the substance is low, it absorbs heat quickly and releases heat quickly. If the specific heat of a substance is low, it absorbs heat quickly and absorbs heat quickly and releases also heat quickly. Likewise, you can write. Then just write the principle. If the specific heat of a substance is low, it absorbs heat quickly and releases heat quickly. So the specific heat of copper metal is low. So the copper metal is preferred for making cooking utensils. Likewise, you can write. Likewise, they will ask you, just we will see the another question. How do you appreciate the role of higher specific heat of water in stabilizing atmospheric temperature during winter and summer seasons? Again, if the specific heat of a substance is high, it absorbs heat slowly and loses heat slowly. The specific heat of water is high. The oceans behaves like storehouses for the earth. They absorb large amount of heat with the temperature rise at the equator and without appreciable rise in temperature, and transports away that heat energy to the poles of the earth. Away to the equator, to the poles of the earth. If they ask you to write why watermelon is so cool after a long time, then again principle, if the specific heat of the substance is high, it absorbs heat slowly and loses heat slowly. Most of the watermelon contains water only. The specific heat of water is high. So watermelon is so cool after a long time. Likewise, for everything you have to write those 2 points, and afterwards according to the question you can write 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, if you please share, subscribe. Next session, we are going to learn about determination of specific heat of a solid experiment. Okay, thank you. In heat part 5, we are going to discuss about the determination of specific heat of solid. This is a very important experiment in the examination point of view. Already we learnt in the last video, heat transfers from the hot body to the cold body. That means the heat transfers from the body which is having high temperature to the body which is having low temperature. Up to what extent the heat transfer will take place? Until they attain the common temperature, that means same temperature, then those bodies are said to be in thermal equilibrium. Up to thermal equilibrium position, the heat transfer will take place. That means the hot body is losing the heat energy and the cold body is gaining the heat energy. Okay, this is called method of mixtures. Based on this method of mixtures only this experiment was designed. What is method of mixtures? The net heat lost by the hot body is equal to net heat gained by the cold body. This is also called as principle of calorimetry. In this experiment, you have to find out which objects are the hot bodies and which objects are the cold bodies, and net heat lost by the hot body is how much and net heat gained by the cold body is how much you have to calculate. How to calculate the net heat lost by the hot body? Using the formula Q is equal to M into S into delta T. Already we discussed in the last video. Q, that is the amount of heat energy is absorbed by a substance or released, lost by an amount of heat energy lost by a substance. We can calculate by using this formula Q is equal to M into S into delta T. The net heat gained by the cold body or net heat lost by the hot body, the net heat we can calculate by using the formula Q is equal to M into S into delta T. Okay. While going to the experiment, I want to give some clarity about the apparatus. This is a copper calorimeter and stirrer, and afterwards we are going to put the copper calorimeter in this wooden box. You can see some bad conductor, somewhat bad conductor, because we have to minimize the heat losses now. For that only, for the minimizing heat losses, we are putting the bad conductor. In that groove we have to put the copper calorimeter. Here this is the copper calorimeter. This is the copper calorimeter. Then we have to keep in this wooden box, and afterwards, if you keep this wooden box, afterwards you have to close the lid, and there will be a little bit of hole is there and a groove is there for the thermometer and the stirrer. Okay, this is the actually what a calorimeter will be. Okay, now we shall proceed to the experiment. For our experiment, a copper calorimeter is needed, and afterwards a digital weighing machine. I switch on the digital weighing machine. Yes, it is properly working. 0 0. Okay, now we shall start the experiment. I kept the copper calorimeter with the stirrer. I am measuring the mass of the empty calorimeter. You should not don't put the thermometer. Afterwards we shall keep the thermometer. I am measuring the mass of the empty calorimeter. Calorimeter means along with the stirrer. You have to feel like that. Mass of the calorimeter, empty calorimeter. That is M1 grams. That is 35.4 grams. The first step, I measure the mass of the calorimeter. First step. And the second step, mass of the calorimeter with water, stirrer and along with the stirrer. I measure the calorimeter with water, that is M2. That is 84.6 grams. First step, I measure the mass of empty calorimeter M1. Second step, I measure the calorimeter with the water, that is M2 grams. Now I am measuring the mass of water. Mass of calorimeter with the stirrer, that is mass of empty calorimeter is 35.4 grams and mass of the calorimeter with the water is 84.6 grams. If I want to know the mass of the water, M2 minus M1, that is 49.2 grams. Okay, that means I measure the mass of the calorimeter, I measure the mass of the calorimeter with water. Okay. I poured some water in the calorimeter now. Previously, I am measuring the initial temperature of that water. That is T1 degree centigrade, here 25 degrees centigrade. with the help of the thermometer you have to measure the temperature, initial temperature of the water. That is M1, M2, T1. 3 readings we had taken. Then afterwards I am putting calorimeter with water along with an iron bolt. Mass of the calorimeter with water and iron bolt is M3, here 135.8 grams. Okay, M1, M2, M3, T1. These are the readings I had taken. We shall revise what are the readings we had taken. Mass of the calorimeter with the stirrer is M1 is equal to 35.4 grams. No? Mass of the calorimeter with the water M2 and mass of the water is equal to M2 minus M1. And mass of the calorimeter with the water and iron bolt is M3. If you want to know the mass of the iron bolt, mass of the water is M2 minus M1. Here if you want to know the mass of the bolt, M3 minus M2, here 51.2 grams. Initial temperature of the water is T1 degrees centigrade, here 25 degrees centigrade. Now I am taking a water bath. I am heating water. I had taken some water in a beaker and I am heating it. I had taken a hot water bath. I am heating the water up to 100 degrees centigrade. That means the temperature of water in beaker is 100 degrees centigrade. Now I am transferring the bolt into the hot water bath with the help of a thread. Because the bolt is in the hot water bath, the temperature of the bolt is also 100 degrees centigrade. Temperature of the water in beaker is T2 degrees centigrade, 100 degrees centigrade. The temperature of the bolt is also 100 degrees centigrade. Here you can see we are transferring the bolt with the help of thread into the calorimeter. Now we are transferring the bolt from hot water bath to calorimeter, and we are immediately have to put in the wooden box and close the lid and measure the temperature. Because the hot water bolt 100 degrees centigrade, no, the hot bolt, iron bolt is kept in the water. So the bolt will lose the heat energy and the water along with the calorimeter. Because if you heat the water, the vessel also will be heated, no. So here the cold bodies are calorimeter and water, and the hot body is the bolt. Here you can see, here the final temperature we measured along with the help of the thermometer after putting the bolt in the water, that is T3, here 32.5 degrees centigrade. Here you can see. Okay. Here the hot body is bolt and the cold body is calorimeter and water. And the final temperature of the calorimeter after transferring bolt into water is T3 degrees centigrade. Here we have to apply the principle of calorimetry, method of mixtures. Heat lost by the hot body is equal to heat gained by the cold body. Here hot body is bolt, cold body is a calorimeter and water. So heat lost by the bolt is equal to heat gained by the water and heat gained by the calorimeter. Okay. Here what we told, hot body bolt, cold body calorimeter and water. For calculating heat gained by the calorimeter or heat gained by the water or heat lost by the bolt, which formula we have to use? Q is equal to M into S into delta T. We have to use the formula Q is equal to M into S into delta T. These are the observations what we had taken. Mass of the calorimeter, first step. Mass of the calorimeter with water, second step. Mass of the calorimeter with water with iron bolt, M3. This is the third step. Initial temperature of the water, T1. That is the fourth step. And temperature of the iron bolt. Measuring the temperature of the iron bolt. That is the fifth step. and we have to measure the final temperature of the water after transferring the iron bolt into water, that is T3. That is the sixth step. We had taken 6 readings. With those, we calculated the mass of water, mass of the iron bolt, and now we are going to calculate the temperature gained by the calorimeter. Initial temperature is T1, final temperature is T3. So the temperature gained by the calorimeter is T3 minus T1. Temperature gained by water, that is also from T1 to T3. T3 minus T1. Temperature lost by the iron bolt, it is at T2, that is 100 degrees centigrade, to it lost its temperature, that is T3, T2 minus T3. We have to know the specific heat values of copper. Already copper specific heat is well known, and the specific heat of water is 1 in CGS system. By using these two specific heat values, we are going to calculate the specific heat of iron bolt. Here M1 in our experimental setup, we got M1 as 35.4 grams, M2 as 84.6 grams, and mass of water M2 minus M1 as 49.2 grams, and mass of the water with iron bolt M3 is 135.8 grams, and mass of the iron bolt is equal to M3 minus M2 51.2 grams. Initial temperature of the water is 25 degrees centigrade, and mass of the bolt is also we measured as 51.2 grams, and the temperature of the bolt is 100 degrees centigrade. And when we transfer the iron bolt into water, the final temperature T3 is equal to 32.5 degrees centigrade. That was recorded as the final temperature. The temperature gained by the calorimeter T3 minus T1, that is 32.5 minus 25, that is 7.5 degrees centigrade. The same for also water. And for iron bolt, 100 minus 32.5, that is 67.5 degrees centigrade. The specific heat of calorimeter, that is 0.095, that is copper, that is 0.095 calories per gram degree centigrade. Here every reading is in grams only, so I am using specific heat values also in calories per gram degree centigrade, and the specific heat of water is 1 calorie per gram degree centigrade. Now we are going to calculate the specific heat of iron bolt, that is iron. We have to use the heat lost by the hot body is equal to heat gained by the cold body. No, heat lost by the iron piece is equal to heat gained by the calorimeter and heat gained by the water. Don't see this formula, don't get confused. Just see here, Q is equal to M into S into delta T. No, heat lost by the bolt. That means iron piece, iron bolt. Mass of the iron bolt, specific heat of iron bolt, and temperature difference is equal. This is the heat lost by the hot body, that is iron bolt, M S delta T. Heat lost by the hot body is equal to heat gained by the cold body. Here this is the calorimeter. This is the mass of the calorimeter, specific heat of the calorimeter, temperature difference. This is the heat gained by the calorimeter, M S delta T. And this is the mass of water, specific heat of water, temperature difference. This is the heat gained by the water. So now we have to find out the specific heat of iron bolt, no? Okay, now just putting these two values by these two values come here only. See here, M3 minus M2 into T2 minus T3. Okay, now putting I substituted all the values, and I got the specific heat of iron bolt as 0.114 calories per gram degree centigrade. This is the experiment. This is the way you have to perform the experiment in the lab. Now, if they asked you in the examination how to write the question, that is the important criteria. Explain the experimental procedure of finding the specific heat of solid. So many students are doing that. They are giving more priority to the procedure, but they are forgetting to write the aim and material required, conclusion, observations. They are not attempting those side headings. Just they are writing the procedure and they are coming. So they will lose some marks. So for every experiment you have to write aim, material required, principle and precautions, procedure, experimental arrangement, diagram and observations, conclusion. Everything you have to write. Then only you will get the full marks. Here aim to find the specific heat of solid and material required: calorimeter, thermometer, stirrer, water, steam heater, wooden box and lead shorts. Here the specific heat of a solid means here I am taking as lead shorts. If they give iron bolt, you have to write iron bolt like that. And precautions: the lead short should be transferred without the heat losses. Immediately we have to transfer the solid into the calorimeter without the losses, and also we have to take the reading of the thermometer or balance without any errors. What is the principal method of mixtures? Heat lost by the solid hot body is equal to heat gained by the cold body. Here heat lost by the solid is equal to heat gained by the calorimeter and water. And procedure: what we had taken 6 readings, just write it down. Don't mug up all these things. I had taken a empty calorimeter. I weighed it as M1, and afterwards I weighed calorimeter along with water, that is M2, and afterwards I weighed calorimeter with the water and bolt, that is M3, and I measured the initial temperature of water T2 degrees centigrade, and I measured the temperature of the bolt when it is in hot water bath, that is T2 degrees centigrade. I transferred that iron bolt into the calorimeter, the water present in the calorimeter. Then I measure the final temperature, that is T3. Likewise you can write. You by your own you have to express whatever you had done in the lab, you can write as a procedure. And observations: mass of the calorimeter M1, mass of the calorimeter plus water M2, mass of the water, temperature of water in calorimeter, and temperature of the iron bolt or lead shorts, and the final temperature M3. Likewise mass of the lead shorts M3 minus M2, specific heat of calorimeter SC, water SW, specific heat of lead shorts. Here we are taken lead shorts in SL. We have to find out the specific heat of lead shorts, and we have to draw the diagram also. Observation: the same thing we have to write M1, M2, M2 minus M1, everything you have to write under observations. Okay, just I am see here what I am telling, this is observations, this here just as a reference point of view only. Again I put like this in a single frame, because these two are in different frames, in two different frames, just I kept in a single frame. We have to write observations like that. Then heat lost by the hot body is equal to heat gained by the cold body. Heat lost by the iron piece is equal to heat gained by the calorimeter plus heat gained by the water. And write the formula. And by using this formula we can calculate the specific heat of solid, and likewise you can write, and afterwards you have to write the conclusion. Knowing the specific heats of calorimeter and water, we can calculate the specific heat of the solid. Whether they had given lead shorts or iron bolt, anything, whatever solid they give, you may write like that. Okay. If you like your daily, so please subscribe this channel. In the coming video, next video, we are going to discuss about the important topic, change of state. Thank you.